Welcome, everyone. Hi, Sammy.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing good. How are you?
Doing really well. Um, I'm excited for everything tonight that we're going to be working on. Um, Tonight, we'll be exploring a number of different topics in computer programming. So we'll be exploring, let me show you, we'll be exploring the movie theater seats problem, which is how many ways four friends can sit next to each other in movie theater seats. And we'll be working on that together. Um, if you want to come on the show and be a guest at different times, let us know in the chat. You can also participate through the chat. How about you, Semi?
So I am going to be working on Flexboxes, and I'm going to be using a bunch of pictures to demonstrate how that works.
Yeah, I'm noticing you have many moons here, and the shadows are in different phases.
Yeah. You have all the moon phases, all 9 of them here. Well, I guess new and full are missing, but yeah.
Neat. Yeah, well, should we jump right into it?
Yes, let's do it.
Okay. So Semi and I are going to be working on similar problems, but we're going to be using different methods. And as we go, we're going to ask folks in the audience, what do you notice? So that's going to be a key thing that we're going to keep asking folks in the group. And I'm going to start, and some of this may seem strange to you at first, but hang with us. So, well, it's just Semi and I here. What do you notice?
I noticed that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, what do you notice?
I noticed that you're listing a directory, and it's a folder. I can only assume a folder because there's no extension called Rev1.
And I'm pressing return here. What do you notice now?
You made a new folder. I mean, a new file inside that folder.
You're noticing a new file inside the folder, and what do you notice now? I'm pressing the return button too.
I see a text editor.
So now I'm in a text editor and I'm going to type and I'm going to press Control X and Control S. What do you notice now?
I noticed that you've typed out a couple words into that text editor.
And now I'm going to press Enter Return. And what do you notice now?
The same words that you had before are now in the web browser.
Yeah, the same words I had before are in the web browser.
Right.
So I'm going to press refresh here again one more time. What do you notice?
I notice the words are bold.
It has
Yeah.
the words in bold, you said?
Yeah, the words are in bold.
And are there any puzzles yet?
No puzzles yet. Wait, what did you add before?
Oh, I had before. I had that.
Okay, yeah. So it seems to be whatever you type in there gets changed.
Yeah, so you're noticing that whatever I type in here and I come over here, they change together. And so now I'm going to pass it to you, Semi.
All right.
And by the way, if you're in our audience, feel free to share in the chat, say hello, share what matters to you, and also feel free to participate. We're glad to ask you for suggestions for things too. So feel free to participate. Take it away, Semi.
Okay. So right now I have a fresh folder, and I'm going to take a minute to just take a look. What do you notice on screen now in my web browser and in my code editor? You're on mute, BA.
Thank you. I notice it says index.html.
Right.
And it says in the browser listing directory /
All right, I'm going to refresh. Now, what do you notice?
Yeah. Now I notice the page 127.0.0.1:550 has a white blank page there. And for folks in the audience, if Semi asks me what I notice, feel free to share what you notice too.
Yeah, what does anybody notice? If you're in the audience, what do you notice now?
I noticed that you typed the word moon phases on the right, and I noticed that when you refreshed on the left, it also says moon phases.
Right. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to BA now.
Thanks, Semi. So now we're going to come back over here, and I'm going to, and just remember how this looks. In fact, actually, I'm going to just combine these two so we can see them together for a little bit. So now, what do you, either Semi or anyone in the audience, what do you notice me typing now? And I'm going to press Control X, Control S again. And then what do you notice now as I refresh?
Notice that the text is a lot bigger.
You notice the text a lot bigger. And notice the text a lot bigger. And what else do folks notice? Again, if you're in the audience, feel free to just share what you notice as we go. What do you notice Anything else? Are there any puzzles for anyone in the audience? Yeah. Okay. I'm going to pass it to Semi now.
Okay. All right, so can anybody tell me what they notice when what happens when I hit refresh in a couple seconds? Oh, we have a commenter. I can't see the file clearly. My bad. I could change it to, it actually does look pretty bad. I'm going to change it to a brighter theme real quick.
Thanks, Andrew, for pointing that out.
And I'm going to also make the text a little bigger. How's this in the audience? Actually, we'll make it 20. How's this?
I'm noticing that that's easier for me to read. But if you're in the audience, let us know if you want it to be any larger. But for now, we'll keep going with it. Yeah, so what Semi was saying, Semi, I recall before you were asking folks in the audience what they notice.
Yes, what do you notice about the browser when I type this out? And I'll do it one more time.
Yeah, if nobody else speaks out, I'll say what I notice. I noticed that inside title, when the words change inside the angle brackets that surround the word title and the angle brackets that surround the word title with a front slash, that when those change, also what else changes is the tab bar or the window title.
Right. So I'm hearing this changes whatever's in the tab bar, or it changes the title of the page. All right, I'm going to ask the BA.
Thanks, Semi. Yeah, so now that we have this much, I'm going to do this. So we're doing this movie theater problem, by the way. And so I'm going to make this. What do you notice happened after I refreshed? And before, too. Feel free, if you're in the audience, to share what you're noticing. Or Semi and I'll keep sharing too.
I noticed that you've added a div tag that says Alice, and on the screen I see the word Alice.
Yeah, so I have this div tag that says Alice, and then Alice is also on the screen. In fact, I'll even make this a little larger for folks, even though it's kind of absurd. For now, that's good. And just for fun, I will. What do you notice here?
I noticed that you've now added the word Bob using the same method.
All right, and now, are there any puzzles for anyone at this stage?
I'm interested in why Alice and Bob are showing up on the same line. We have a comment. Oh.
That was just me. That was just me. Yeah, so if there's no new puzzles at this stage, besides, so Sammy, you're wondering, why is it that Alice and Bob are on the same line here, but they're not on the same line here? And if I do that and I refresh, what do you notice?
Well, you have changed the code, but there's no difference
Hmm.
in the output.
Are there any puzzles still? Or is there more about this that's kind of puzzling still that you're wondering? If not, then I'm going to pass to Semi.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and when I refresh, what does everybody notice here?
I notice, if nobody beats me to it in the chat, I notice that you moved moon phases into these angle brackets inside of the word body. And I noticed that the angle brackets with a slash and body close that section that we moved moon phases into.
Right. And I'm just going to go ahead. What do we notice there?
I'm noticing that the word moon phases was moved inside the H1 tags, and I think you refreshed the screen. I'm not sure if I saw you do it.
I did.
But I'm noticing that the text is bold now.
Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and pass off to BA, but wait, does anybody notice any connections between our code, the NBA's code, together?
I could speak to.
Oh, we got 3 comments. Oh no, we don't have 3 comments.
I'm sorry, I keep posting.
Yeah.
Comments. But your enthusiasm is wonderful. So yeah, I notice between our code, if we're thinking of connections between our code, we both have instances where things we write on the right side have these angle brackets around the things we write. And then they show up on the left side with the browser window with different formatting.
Yeah. True. So we have. Is there any other things you notice?
I think that's it for the moment.
Okay. I'm gonna pass it off to you, VA.
Okay. Thank you. So I had promised before, well, I'll surprise you all, but I will say that I promised things today, but I'm not gonna spoil what I'm up to here. And now I'm going to refresh on the left side. And what do you notice? Does anyone notice what changed when I refreshed?
I noticed.
Yeah, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I noticed that the Alice has been highlighted pink, but also the whole bar where Alice is in.
Yeah, the whole bar where Alice is in. Does anyone notice anything else? Feel free to share in the chat anything you notice. What do folks notice now? Do folks notice anything now that changed when I pressed the refresh button? What's in the code that I've added? Do people notice new code?
I noticed that the output is now a lighter version of pink. Magenta, if
You notice magenta. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, the output for Alice and Bob are different colors, but they're both highlighted still.
Yeah, what happens when I change violet? What do people notice when I change violet here?
It goes to blue.
Violet goes to blue.
Yeah, whatever color you type out becomes that. Bob gets covered in that color.
Bob gets covered in the color that I changed it to. And are there any puzzles at this stage for anyone? That includes anyone in the audience. If you notice, are there any puzzles here that we're thinking about or anything? If not, then I'm going to pass to Semi. Here you go, Semi.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add in some more code. I'm going to hit refresh. And can you tell me when I hit refresh, do you notice anything?
I didn't notice anything.
Right. So now I'm going to type out. I think I made a mistake here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Technical difficulties. I will fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So workflows.
Yeah, and what I noticed was when you did that, nothing changed before.
Right. So now when I do it, oh, it's changing automatically. But what do you notice now?
And folks are welcome in the chat to share what you notice and beat me to it. But I noticed that the background changed to blue.
Right. And I could change it again and again. What do you notice here?
The background got darker.
Wait.
It got grayer.
That's not what I wanted to put there. Yeah, what do you notice here?
Now the background is greener.
Nice. I'm going to put in some code, and the background got greener and bluer.
Also, and I don't want to take this away from other folks, but I also noticed that background color says background color : RGB 1, and then parentheses, an opening paren 141, a comma, space 262 space or comma space 13 right paren semicolon inside the context of curly braces left and right containing it, and then the body to the left of the left curly brace inside style.
All right. Yeah, so we noticed that we have green. We also noticed that we have the word RGB. Watch what happens when I do this. What do you notice there?
It got redder.
Right. BA, I'm going to pass it off to you.
All right. Thank you, Semi.
You're welcome.
So I just did Control X, Control S, and I'm about to refresh. What do you notice?
I noticed that nothing's changed on the output, but you have added
I've added what?
a section tag.
Yeah, I've added a section tag. And I just saved again. And if I hit the refresh button here, what do we notice?
I noticed that nothing's really changed.
Now, I just refreshed. What do you notice here?
I noticed that you've added in a display grid.
So I've added a display grid. Did anything change on the page?
No, nothing changed.
Now I'm about to refresh, and as I refresh, what do you notice?
I noticed that Bob is gone, but Bob is still on the div page.
Wait, Bob is gone in the browser?
Oh wait, no, Bob is not gone. Bob is just next to Alice. But it's different from before.
Yeah, how is it different? You notice?
We're kind of sharing the space. Like the whole line is in yellow. But the whole line is in blue.
Yeah, the whole line is them. What do you notice now?
I noticed that Bob is much closer to Alice.
So for a second, should we take should we I can keep I can keep doing this for a little bit longer of working on this. One sec. Yeah, so I'll keep going on this for a little bit right now. And so a couple things about CSS Grid. Let's just kind of explore this. And if you're in the audience, feel free to keep sharing what you noticed. So I just changed this over here. What are you all noticing? And I just refreshed. Do folks notice anything? What I noticed here is that as I increased the 3FR, Bob got closer to Alice. Now I just saved and I'm going to refresh. What do you notice here? I noticed that as I increased 3FR to 4FR, and then I refreshed, Bob got closer to Alice. So I'm doing this movie theater problem, though, and the problem's not just a problem of Alice and Bob. There's 4 people in this movie theater seat problem. So I'm going to save here and refresh. What do you notice?
I noticed that you've added Sharon now, but instead of that whole like highlighting thing, it's only up to Alice for some reason. It's interesting.
So I've added Sharon, but the highlighting's only up to Alice, right?
Yeah.
And then here I'm going to save again and refresh.
Now
What do
we
you
have
notice?
Donna. And Donna takes up the rest of the line.
Yeah, Donna takes up the rest of the line. And now, if I what do you notice now?
Oh, nothing really seemed to change on screen.
Oh no, let me go again. What do you notice when I refresh now?
Yeah, now Sharon and Alice are taking up more space.
Yeah. Are there any puzzles for folks in the audience or anybody? Are there any puzzles going on right now that you're noticing? Hey there.
Yeah. Oh. No, we don't have comments. Okay. But yeah, I would wonder if we can get Alice. Alice is kind of on the left side. It's left aligned. What if it were center aligned or right aligned?
Oh, I see. So what would it be like if we said what do you notice?
Alice is now in the center.
Alice is now in the center. And what else do you notice? What do you notice? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, whenever we type text align center and it centers something.
Whenever we type text align center, then it centers that thing. Any other puzzles we're noticing?
Yeah, I would wonder if you could do that all at once instead of doing it one at a time.
Yeah. Could we do it all at once? What do you notice?
Now added this new tag. You're going by .seat. You've added text align center.
So there's a text line center inside of .seat here. Do you notice? Does anyone or you notice anything else?
Yeah, .seat is seat, or we also have class seat.
We have class seat. Now, if I was now or what do you notice?
I noticed that when you took it out, Donna went back to the left.
What do you notice now?
Donna's back to the right.
Are there any more puzzles yet right now?
No puzzles right now.
All right, then I'm going to pass it back to you, Semi.
Perfect. All right. Where should I start?
Let's see. What are you thinking?
So I want everybody to pay attention to this folder right here. It's filled with these pictures here. Oops. Just a quick scroll through, just so you know where this is coming from. And I am going to go over here. I'm gonna go with that one. So what does everybody notice here? We just make this a bit bigger.
Yeah, what do folks in the audience notice? I could say what I noticed, but I want to see what folks in the audience are going to say. Well, I noticed that this picture of the moon has now shown up on the page.
Right. Just real quick. Oh, what do you notice?
Now I notice the image is a different size. It's smaller now.
And so we noticed that, oops. We noticed that I've added in a picture, and we also noticed that the image is a different size and smaller down.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it off to you, BA.
Oh, before
Oh,
you go, I also noticed that inside the IMG that you've got inside of styles, there's curly braces to the left, to the right of the IMG. And then inside those curly braces are with colon 50% semicolon.
yes.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
The only puzzle I'm sitting with, I've got a puzzle if somebody's not sitting with any puzzles. And I kind of know the puzzle already, but I'm going to say it anyway, even though I know the answer to it. What happens, Semi, if you change the size of the window? What do folks notice as they resize the window here?
Oh, this is actually interesting. So we're resizing it in the X position, in the Y position. What do you notice there?
I notice when we move the Y position, nothing changes, but the X position, the image seems to, as the browser window gets smaller, the image gets smaller too. As the browser window gets larger, the image gets larger.
Right.
Ah!
Oh. Now what do you notice here as I've
Ooh,
added in? Yeah.
I noticed the image gets squeezed more and more.
As I make the Y position smaller.
Mhm.
Whereas before, if I get rid of this, what do you notice now?
I noticed that it's squished again.
Well, before, wait. Let me get rid of this.
Now the image seems normal again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Any connection between these two?
Between width and height?
Yeah.
It seems like the width is horizontal size and the height and the height is vertical size. And
Right.
it seems to be determined by the size of the browser window. Like if the bottom of the browser is higher or lower, that can determine whether the image is squished or stretched vertically, and if the right side of the browser or left side of the browser is being resized, that squishes or stretches the image on the horizontal axis.
Right. So height has to do with Y, width has to do with X. Repositioning.
Height has to do with Y, width has to do with X.
Right. VA, I'm going to pass to you.
Thanks, Semi. Now, as we come to this problem more and more, last time we replaced this part with class seat, and then we were able to put the text align center on here. So what I'm going to do here is just replace oops. But actually, it's not text align center that I'm switching over. It's this. What do you notice just happened?
I didn't see anything. Maybe I missed it.
Let me do it. Let me do it again this way. Let me do it again this way. I'm going to refresh now. What do you notice that happened there?
I know this Donna.
Notice Donna
Is now text align.
Notice Donna is now text aligned. Now, does anyone notice, is there a difference between this div here and the other divs?
There isn't.
Yeah,
there isn't a difference between the two divs.
You said there isn't a difference?
Yes, I don't quite see it. Well, it's magenta and the other one's. Yeah.
So this one's magenta and the other ones are different colors?
Yeah, at least Bob and Sharon are.
Mm-hmm.
Style is coming first for Alice. The other ones have class in front.
Yeah, does Alice have class?
Alice does not have a class, interesting enough.
Yeah, Alice doesn't have a class. And yet, here, what do you notice?
I noticed that Alice was now not center aligned because Alice does not have a class. At least the div Alice does not have a class.
What did it have before this though? Did it have a class before?
No, it just had text center or text align.
What do we expect is going to happen? And by the way, if you're in the audience, try to see if you can get out the answer faster than Semi.
I'll be quiet.
No, you're doing fine. We're doing fine. So I just typed this. What do folks in the audience first, unless Semi outpaces them? What do you notice based on what I just typed? And I'm going to refresh the screen. What do folks notice? What do you notice?
I notice Alice is now centered after you add the seat class.
Alice is now centered after we've added the seat class. So, okay, so we've got now Alice using the seat class. And who all uses the seat class?
Every other box.
Every other box? Wait, every other box or which other boxes?
All the boxes. All the main divs.
All the main divs, I see. Now, I'm going to What's that? Oh, all the name divs.
Name div. All the name divs use that.
I see. So now, what do you notice I just typed?
Unless you've typed another FR. By the way, what does that mean?
Yeah, what do you notice now?
We have another column.
And if I type another FR, what do you notice here?
You have another column.
You have another column. So now we've got a row. Let's see, what color should we see? What do you notice here?
Bob is now cyan.
Mm-hmm.
We changed Bob's color to cyan.
Yeah, Bob cyan. And what do you notice here now? Oh, wait.
Yeah, Sharon is now cyan. Or not, is a different color. Sharon is a different shade of purple.
Yeah. Okay. In fact, I could even be more radical. What do you notice now?
Donna yellow. Donna is now highlighted in yellow.
Yeah, so Donna is now highlighted in yellow. Are there any puzzles here now? If there's no puzzles, then I'm going to pass to Semi. There you go.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 more pictures. I'm also going to take this away for now. And what does everybody notice?
What do folks in the audience notice here? If you don't share what you notice, I'll share what I notice. I'm noticing that before there was 1 image, now there's 3, I think.
Yes. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, there's 3 images. Can I see the other images? I noticed that one of them is a half moon, one of them is like a quarter moon, and one of them is like closer to a full moon.
And I'm going to add this back in.
I noticed they all got smaller.
And yeah, just like that.
And I noticed most of them are the same size, but one of them is a little bit taller.
Right. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit refresh. Wait, I'm going to line up and hit refresh. And what does everybody notice there?
Did anything change?
No.
I didn't notice anything change, yeah.
Okay. So now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to take Everybody notice now about the sizing, and let me just go back, like so everybody can catch that. And
I'm noticing.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm noticing that when it was display flex, everything was on the same line. Now everything's on different lines.
Yeah, and take a look at the sizing of the photos or the images.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put back display flex.
Oh, they're now all the same size.
Yeah. I'm just gonna make this a little smaller. I can also just take away display flex again. I think it becomes more obvious there. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I don't have any puzzles at this stage.
Okay. Shall I continue, or BA, do you want to take it?
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it for a sec. So now the question is, the challenge of this is, what are the different ways four friends can sit next to each other in 4 seats, or 4 movie theater seats? What do you notice?
I noticed a giant piece of text that's smaller than the title, but it's still bold and very prominent on the page.
Yeah, a giant piece of text that's still smaller than the main title, but still bold and prominent on the page. What do you notice in the on the right side in terms of what we added to the code?
You've added in H2 tag below the H1 and above.
Yeah, we added
contents. Section contents.
Yeah, we added this H2 above section below H1.
Right.
And when we added that, we got this. What are the different ways for, as I recall you saying, we got all that. Any puzzles about this new piece so far?
No.
Now, so if I'm answering this question, then I have to find a way to demonstrate. Oh, wait. To demonstrate what's going on. Now, if I just save this and refresh, I do get another row like this. But I could also, just for example, delete that. And save and refresh. What do you notice?
I noticed that we have a copy of the 4.
We have a copy of the 4, and what I could do for now, what do you notice?
I noticed that Alice and Bob are in different spaces.
Yeah, Alice and Bob are on different spaces. What happened in the code that I did before this?
Alice and Bob's spaces got swapped.
Yeah, Alice and Bob's spaces got swapped. So we could keep going on this. In fact, we will a little bit in the future. We can keep going on this, but this is a start for this movie theater seats problem. And we're going to be exploring in the coming weeks different ways. I'm going to be exploring in the coming weeks different ways to solve this problem. Does anyone have any questions about what I'm doing? Are there any puzzles people are noticing that you want to keep exploring? Anything else folks have noticed? If that's the case, I'm going to pass back to Semi.
All right. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to get rid of the one on this name. Just real quick. What does everybody notice when I do this?
I noticed. Wait, I'll give others a chance before I say something.
Yes.
Yeah, what do folks notice? If you don't share though, I will say. I noticed that when you change flex direction from row to column, that the images started appearing in columns.
Right. And now I'm going to change it back to row. And I'm going to type out, what does everybody notice there?
I noticed you typed justify self-center.
And do you notice any changes?
I don't notice any changes.
When I type this, what do you notice?
I noticed there's a gap between the items now.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and add in some more divs. 3 to be exact. And now I'm going to come back down to justify content. We're going to take away gap altogether. Well, that's pretty much it. So what does everybody notice here so far?
I'm noticing. But I'll give it a second. I'm noticing that we've got these 3 images, and they're spaced apart. I'm noticing that the images are very small.
Right. But no change ever since I stuck them inside of here.
No.
Yeah. What I'm gonna do is, forgive me, I can never remember the names of the rooms. So I'm gonna have to use my cheat sheet. So this first one is a young. The second one is a waxing. So there's very little. Anybody notice anything different in the content besides, or just black? Anybody notice anything different in the content?
I'm noticing that many of the words are finding their way in P tags that are also below the images.
Right. So just change it back to center. And if you want to take before that, so you notice that there were some images in between the p tags. Anything else you notice about them, like how they appeared or on the screen?
I noticed that they appeared with space between them.
Right.
A lot of space between them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we got the words underneath the photo. And you notice that they appeared with a lot of space between them. Do you want to go on past the VA?
No, I think this is good. I think I've said all I've got for tonight.
All right.
I think do you have any last thoughts for tonight?
That's pretty much it for me.
Is there anyone in the audience that's got any puzzles that you're considering or anything? We're going to keep working on these examples and developing them further and further and exploring this more and more. But this is what we've got for tonight. If there's any other thoughts, feel free to share them in the chat. So tonight, Semi, do you want to say one last thing about what you've got here?
No, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna work on this again next week. I'm gonna continue.
Yeah, and I'll be working next week on this, and we're going to continue too. If you're watching on Twitch, you can donate to us. In fact, actually, let me also show. You can also donate to us on our website, codewhatever.us. That's codewhatever.us. This work is very challenging, but we do it very often in volunteer spaces and whatnot, and every dollar really matters. So feel free to make a tax-deductible donation to us on our website. Again, we'll be continuing to do this work next week. And thank you so much. It's been really great having everyone and working together with everyone. Bye, everyone. Thanks, and thank you so much, Semi.
You too.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Have a great night, everyone.